and welcome back to Below the Fog. Some notes. If you hear noise in my background, I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just gonna be there. We're gonna do this episode a little different tonight. We're going to have a recap, as said by our wonderful player, Pierce. Pierce, why don't you give us the recap?
So on the last session, Quill uses a locate object to help our group look for Astrid, Yuji, and Obara by locating the bracelet that Astrid and Freya use, both wear. And Zulimar takes a moment to comfort Freya about being anxious about being away from from Astrid. They go past a chest that is stuck in throbbing spikes, and they decide that they're going to save that for later on the way back. It is cracked open. There is also a bridge over a pit of lava. Vitani takes the lead. Frey's energy starts to wane in the heat, so Zulimar gets a magic umbrella out that drizzles rain inside the umbrella to cool her off. Zulimar sends a message using sending to Augie, and it states, "We have lost the pets, looking for them. Met goddess of knowledge and BB Kenku named Quill. He knows Rhea's grandmother. They are helping." Augie returns the message by stating the Carnarvon Butcher, exile, largest killing spree in 2 centuries, arrested, branded, sent down below. Didn't investigate myself. Big danger. Watch him. Zulimar retains that information but does not share it with the group. They start to cross the bridge over the lava, and a slithery wet goop blocks between Mist and the rest of the group. It is a lava salamander with wet goopy eye on its belly. We have to fight it. Mist gets real banged up with being grappled in its tail, but eventually we get rid of it and we heal Mist, and then we head forward into the glow that's coming out of the mist, and we discover 3 glowing orbs. They are blue, pink, and orange, and they're on a plinth. It is Astrid, Yuji, and Nobara, and their heads are resting in a basin. Astrid is lying in a pool of water, Yuji in a laying on pink flower petals, and Nobara on orange embers. The lights of their glowing orbs that they're inside are projecting what looks to be Ogie's wand. Freya and the others, they can touch the dragon, but they can't pick them up. Quill starts to do an identify object spell on the plinth, and we learn from that it is the trio of creation. With the gift of knowledge and power, one item can be created every 100 years, and it will be shown as something the person or creature giving the offering needs most. They have already given the knowledge through the 3 creatures. Now it needs power, and that power comes from the wand from Augie called the Wand of Hoarding. We decide to have Mist go and get it, and it is noted that the dragons took the choice out of our hands because they felt that we needed this. And that was all.
Oh, pardon me.
What a
Emma.
way to end that recap. And with that, what would you guys like to do?
So Mist has not returned yet with anything, I'm guessing, right?
Not yet. We'll basically say she just left, more or less.
Yeah, because she succeeded a glorious acrobatics roll for like 24, and so she flips down onto the wall and climbs down.
Out of character, Red, did you want to give any flavor or reaction to Batani seeing the dragon? Since I know you had us out at the end of last time.
That's right. This is new for me.
So the dragons can't be moved. Frey's already tried to pick up Astrid, and they're all in a deep sleep kind of state. It would seem.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Vitani would go and stand next to the. What did you say that they're in?
A plinth, or they're
a plinth
on a platform, basically.
Yeah, it's like a pillar kind of a thing, but there's like a little basin
pillar
in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Vitani would go and stand next to where they're sleeping, or where they look like they're sleeping, and just run the backs of her fingers along their little heads and their backs. She's happy to see them, but this this sleep state doesn't really soothe all of her worries. But she doesn't say anything. She's just petting them.
It was hard being away from them, and now that here, it's like can't even have them still.
Just need to be patient. It'll be a little bit more time.
Yeah. Well, as long as they're okay, I can wait.
So during the time that you guys are waiting, is there anything you want to do?
Is there anything else in this room other than the plinth or the cliffside?
Not in this area.
You pull up. Sorry, I forgot to pull that up before before starting the session.
So,
How does one, out of character, how does one attune to things? How does
one
that
takes
work?
a long rest, and
Ah,
that's it.
gotcha.
And you
Well,
need
like
to,
interacting with it, right?
yeah, and there is a limited number of at one.
Limited number of what you cut out.
A
Items you
limited
can
number of
attune
things
to.
you could. Yeah.
I see.
Wait, I just missed that again. What?
You can be attuned to up to 3 things at once.
Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah. Atlas had that problem that I had to
Yeah.
decide what 3 things he was
Too many
attuned to at a
things to
certain time.
attune.
Decide.
All right, artificers are the exception to that because they have features that. But yeah,
That makes sense.
This is my little sketch.
Mist's return would only elicit like a short rest per se, not a long rest, correct?
if we're here an hour,
I was gonna say, is she gonna take an hour to go get Augie
I don't know. That's why.
or to get the log?
oh, wait a minute, it is.
So no short rest then. That's just, fine. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of good.
So Rhea,
Yeah, it's not going to take that long.
No, because the cliff
Right.
is close to the front of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so Rhea,
Yes.
tell me a bit about yourself.
About
Asking
me.
for a friend.
Oh, there's really not much about me. I work hard. Uh, nope. That's pretty much it. I don't like daisies.
He chuckles.
You
I'm not
realize-
a wolf. That's weird. That's
Oh, there
new.
you go. Yeah.
That part's not that weird, actually.
Quill in the first, not this last session, but the session before, Quill did mention that he and Miss had a moment of talking about like what she remembers of who he was, and he was like, "That's not the real story." And it was mentioned that he was sent down below because he was a prisoner,
Yes.
right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Because Zulimar being so nice and helpful and maybe not realizing that stating certain things is not appropriate at certain times. Be like, Rhea, you and Quill share something in common. You both got sent down below as prisoners.
Quill's
But you
gonna
did too, then.
it's somewhat of a sore subject with me.
Well,
I
I
know,
mean, it's not
and
the greatest day of my life either, I suppose.
well, it wasn't just a day for me. It was. Unfortunately, my blood does not permit me to forget things easily. Even things that we want to forget, we shouldn't forget. There's a lot more to it than just sending a prisoner down in Brother Bishop. And some of the scars have healed, and some have been taken from me, quite graciously. But the ones in here, and he points to his head, those will be with me forever.
Jeez. I am sorry for that.
Well, you have
Can
no
say
need to
that
apologize.
despite it being a punishment of sorts, I feel like I actually gained freedom coming down here. Found a family, more or less. Didn't really have, despite having blood family up above it, that was never a family.
I was taken from a place where I was very happy. I was made to feel very unhappy before they sent me down here. It's. I wish I could be a better man and not be bitter about it, but unfortunately, part of me just wants to see the entire place burn.
Yeah.
And
We've learned
part,
some things about the above that I think we share similar sentiments.
well, our cases may be a bit similar and they may not be. I've met others that have been sent down here, and the common factor amongst all of them. It doesn't matter what the crime is, they all are here to be forgotten. Every last one of us.
Yeah. I can
And
see
those, and even those that come down willingly. It's a shame. Which is why I work to remember everyone I find who comes down here. Someone has to.
that.
Well, it's out. You know that I was sent here as a prisoner. Let it out. I know it's coming. The tabaxi let out a bit of it. What do you know?
I'll be honest, I don't know anything.
Quill's looking uh, at Zulimar.
uh, sorry, that's me laughing out of character. He's gonna get a little uncomfortable. But I didn't know anything. But I was updating our friend Augie, with my sending spell, that we had met you, and he is also from Brother Bishop, like Mist is, and he responded with saying that you are the Carnarvon Butcher. You were exiled because you have the largest killing spree in 2 centuries. You were arrested, branded, and sent down below. He said he didn't investigate himself about the particulars, I'm supposing, but he did feel that you might be dangerous or watch him. But I didn't feel that was pertinent to clarify to everyone. uh, Given you'd already shared information about yourself when Mist pointed it out, and you conveyed that some things about what she knew may not be the truth. And to be honest, the above the plateau is well, I take everything I hear about other people's lives up there with a grain of salt, considering I whatever Rhea was got in trouble for, I probably wouldn't believe was actually the truth.
Well, I can tell you that whatever I tell you, you should also take with a grain of salt, after all. I'm going to speak what I say that benefits me most of all, so you can't just simply believe me based on my say so.
That's true.
But you deal with enough people from up above, and you're going to hear, oh, I didn't do it, actually did, or I didn't do it, and they actually did, or I did do it, and they actually didn't. Sometimes we are not even sure of our own action. This is what I know for sure. The crime they sent me down below for, officially, is not the crime they sent me down below for. I knew too much, and that's dangerous up there. So they sent me down below. And they created a fiction to cover it up so that no one would want to follow in my footsteps. Oh, he just learned the wrong thing and went slightly balmy. That's what they probably are saying, or want people to think, and thus my actual actions have become lost to the annals of history. The truth is, I'm here because I found a god and spoke to that god. And because that is the worst crime imaginable that one can do on the plateau. They tortured me for days and days and days and weeks and weeks. They mocked me in ways that I cannot possibly express. Memories that I will not share with anyone, but memories that I have to hold. And then they sent me down here. I suppose I do share one thing with Rhea here. I'm quite happy to be down here. Because down here I can learn, and I can absorb, and I can speak of what I've learned and absorbed, and I have done so. You're right, there is freedom down here.
You said you had, and Freya has been like kind of in the back a little bit. She was one of the ones who came down of her own volition, though especially the forgotten part kind of sat in her chest a little bit after came back because she actually had time stolen from her, having been frozen or stasis when she came down. But now hearing of these kind of other ways that people are being made to be sent down, she's kind of curious as to some of the things that Quill has been saying. And she looks at him and she questions, "You said you found a god in the above?"
Yes.
I would figure it wouldn't be very easy to do that. Did you just happen upon this god?
Well, they would say I read the wrong book. I would say I read the right book. This is not the original copy of it, but he points to the book that he's been writing in whenever he casts spells. But this chapter here is my inscription of said book, the Lectern of Elements, which goes through all the different religious rite of that, of the spirits of wisdom and curiosity and knowledge, which sounds innocuous once you've been down here enough. The fact that we're able to have this conversation shows that the blessing of gods is upon us. But such things are not spoken of up above. There's only one deity, and that would be the Queen. We all know this. We're all taught this every single day. But the fact was, when I read and I tried some of the things it said. I got a response. And that started our little compact, which continues to this day.
And then what about is this god connected to the and then she's gonna nod to the little bird who's the god of knowledge.
Ah, very, very astute. Yes, quite connected. Quite connected in though I didn't recognize it as such at the time. The methods of communication for Phronesis is very arcane. And I suspect they tailor things to my peculiarities. I'm not originally verbal, so Phronesis prefers nonverbal communication with me, which suits me just fine.
What is that name that you're saying?
Phronesis. It's from primordial. It means prudence.
Prudence?
Yes, it's knowledge and the wisdom to use it then.
Let's see. What this canary here, did you meet the god of in this manifestation above, or was it not until you got below that you were connected
Above.
with?
Originally, I thought it was actually a manifestation of my cantrip talent,
Oh.
but cantrip talents don't usually have divine energy. Turns out mine is related to the divine. Any more than that, I couldn't tell you. Faith is a very strange thing, but in some hands, extremely powerful.
Now, other than meeting this god, you seem to have said you also learned the wrong things. Is there as we've all found out coming down here, we've learned some things about the above as well, and I'm just curious on if some of these things kind of correlate or if there's any new info you've discovered that you were even sent down for.
Allow me to do a little bit of a test then. All right. Tell me, can you hear me when I say the words? Her changing this world to stop the leather windows. Ah, reason didn't stop me, did it? Or as I like to call it, the great squelching. Interesting. I know much of what we are not allowed to know down, but those who are blessed by the gods, as you are probably aware, can speak of it freely, because we don't follow her rules.
So you are also aware of her. I'm curious of your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't follow her rules, do you believe that what she's been doing, what she put in place, is the right thing to do?
That's a very good question, and my answer to that is very simple. One of my duties is to find those of us who are from up above and have not made it, and remember them. And in many cases, they were not slain by disease or by natural causes, but rather they were slain by the unnatural order that was set upon us by her. So, no, I do not support her. But I also recognize that we have another enemy in the leather windows, and that one is much more personal. If I were to be given a choice, well, I'd I'd have them both removed from the planet and replaced with something sensible.
That's a fair estimation.
You must understand, I've had some time to go through many, many libraries that we're not supposed to have access to. They're all open to me.
So, with this knowledge and also knowing that what her is not all that it seems to be in good, just we've been. Do you know much about the laboratories that hold the fog?
I've been to a few of them. Most of them have libraries, do they not?
I believe they do, yes.
Who do you think keeps the books on the shelves?
The librarian.
The library.
The librarian, yes.
Even in her spaces, the library is, and thus, I may not be denied entry.
And you're aware of what the labs maintain.
As much as any one person can hold the knowledge, yes.
And what if we said that we've been reversing that?
It's an interesting ploy. It doesn't serve her needs, that's for sure. Though I wonder where it will lead.
That's certainly what we are wondering. But yes, she has made it very clear that she doesn't want us to continue what we're doing.
It is because she believes that the fog is what keeps the leather windows out of the rest of the world.
Yes, and we feel that given what they do to send people below, and even the fact that they feed on magic.
They don't just feed on magic, I can assure you of that.
Yeah, we were suspecting that they might feed on those of us that they send below. Especially given that they tell us that we have the choice of coming back within 2 weeks.
And individuals must have made that choice.
Yeah,
People have
and
left
yet we've never heard of anybody that comes back. So if they did come back, they must be taken someplace else or used in some other way or consumed.
I'd like to make a memory check of the books in the Arcania. In a while.
Go for it. What you looking for?
Specifically, census of people sent down below and whether they return.
Okay, roll for it.
I want to see if Quill remembers that. Is that a history check?
Yes. For Quill
Nice.
specifically.
Nice. Well then. In that case, I'm going to use Kenku Recall on that. We are going to make this roll. We demand to make this roll.
We demand we need it right now.
Oh. How do I do with advantage on this goddamn thing? 1 second. I'm just going to look something up because I've been a while since I've used Dice Mate.
No problem. Rhea, calm down.
Rhea's just barking in the
Rhea,
background.
please.
Whoa. Rhea's calm. That's Jules. What? Where's advantage?
I'm so sorry if anybody can hear that.
It's very muffled. We can't understand what it's saying though.
Yeah, I asked him if he could turn it down, and he said no, it's a bot.
It sounds it sounds like it's a bot because of the way it kept like repeating certain things.
It is.
It's a bot.
There we go. That's how we do it. Okay.
Bot or not, you should be able to turn down the volume of your damn computer, but whatever.
You'd think. He's deaf, remember?
Yeah.
He's deaf, and he refuses to admit that he's deaf. What's your
19.
roll?
There we go.
19?
Yep.
So, as you're flipping through, you notice that there aren't any official reports of people coming back up. But you do make a correlation on... So, okay, we're going to say it like this. Handlers have code names. So Destiny would have had a code name. And you notice that all of them go back down. But anytime that you, like every couple of trips, you notice that there's like an asterisk next to a name. Normally it's Destiny goes down, drops people off, Destiny comes back up. You notice that someone will go down, someone else will come back up, and that's when there's an asterisk. But it does
Yes.
not say people come with them. It's just that someone else comes back up. Like just a different name. And it's different every time.
So here's the real tea. What actually happens? There are records of people coming back up. I've seen them, but it's never the same names that go back down.
Oh no, not like that.
Actu-
I
Oh.
mean like the handlers themselves. The handler
Like-
names change.
That
Different.
that use the elevator.
So
So,
different
like,
handlers. So they
Yeah.
like swap out destinies.
Yeah, so like Destiny will go down, he dropped all of you off, and then like 2 weeks, Destiny's like, I'll be back. But you see on the chart, so like say you guys came back, Destiny's name would not be on that chart, but it would only be a name. It would be like Tiffany or something. And there would be an
Tiffany.
asterisk by that name. But Destiny went down, dropped you guys off, Destiny went back down, nobody was there.
Interesting. They swap out handlers often. But there's no record of anyone coming back. But here's the crazy thing. I'm very certain there are people who've tried to go back up. Very certain about it indeed. Which tells us that they're not making it all the way up, or the records are forged.
You say the handlers are also not coming back up then too, though, right? From what it seems like as well, they go down, but after, from what you've said, the name is not the same for the ones who return. So what
Correct.
happens to the handlers that seem to have never come back up?
That's an interesting question. Unfortunately, I couldn't answer that.
So, hang on, can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes, you can.
Sona, are you saying that the handler themselves does not come back up when we, like, after they drop us off, or they don't come back for us, like, someone else comes back for us and then she comes back later?
No, so like the chart will say Destiny dropped off group. Destiny goes back down. Next week, Alana drops off group. Alana goes back down. Like next couple of weeks, Destiny drops off group. Destiny goes back down. Next week, Alana drops off group. Rebecca goes back down.
Okay. So they
That
haven't
kind
come
of a
back,
thing.
it's just that a different
They stop
handler.
coming back at some point.
Well, so it's basically saying that something strange happens. There is a moment when a handler does not make the return visit 2 weeks later. It is somebody else, but there's no other explanation in the chart.
Yeah, but like
There's just an
Alana will still
asterisk
be
next
making
to that
trips
name.
on that chart.
Yeah, but then you'll see
She came back to
Alana
that.
or Destiny will keep going back and doing new trips. So for some reason that day, either like you can't. There's no explanation of why the person that handled the group the first drop down was not the person that said they were coming back 2 weeks later for some reason. But then they will take another group when the next wave of people being sent down. They're like back to work. So it's just like there's this random person and it's never the same person each time.
So these random handlers are kidnapping people?
No, I don't know.
Don't know. Don't know if they called out sick for some strange reason or something like that. Like there's no explanation. Just an asterisk with no key to say this is what the asterisk means.
Not that I would expect a major explanation,
No.
but it is unusual to have them swamp out like that. Or rather, it would be unusual. In fact, it's not unusual is what's unusual.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's noted with an asterisk. But what's interesting is that there's been no record of anyone trying to do so on off trips either. For example, when Destiny brings people down, you'd expect that to be when they could bring people back up.
That's what I had thought.
Which tells me that the system is more complicated than it needs to be for its stated purpose. And usually when a system is more complicated than it needs to be for a stated purpose, it's because you don't know the stated purpose is not the real purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So, out of character, when it's been a hot second since we've all came down from the elevator, there's only one elevator that brings people up and down, right?
Yep.
And
Yes.
back in character, do any of us ever remember seeing anyone even around the elevator when any of you came down?
I had quite a crowd.
Really, there was no one when we came down.
It was a
fact
spectator
of-
sport in my day. They made a show of it.
But no, we're talking about like
On the bottom.
below. Yes.
Oh no, on the landing. Far from it.
Yes.
So yeah, I think I had the same thought as you, Freya, that if we as people from above know the routine of how often a new party gets sent down, our group should be able to roughly pinpoint when the next group will show up. So even if it's not the 2 week window, we could go back there and like look back, and look and see, or like be present and try to get back on the elevator. So then why is it that there's nobody making such an attempt or being a welcome party to us to show us, around,
Right.
Especially if people who came below, like us, have learned of the true nature of this world, and yet there's no one even thinking about stationing themselves near that elevator to try to, like you said, welcome us in a sense.
We have been told about Effenworthy, it being a city where people from above go and basically hole up, and they don't seem to be making, the people who do seem to survive don't seem to be making any effort to go back.
Yes, that is an excellent point, and one that I could actually answer a little bit better too. It would be incorrect to say that we have not thought of doing that. The state of this world being very hostile to us. Outreach to help grab our type and make sure that they're handled safely is on the foremost of our concerns. There's just one major problem that we have not found a solution for, and that is the Guardian around that area is hostile to our attempts to do so.
Yeah, that's
So
what I
the
was. I was
the
actually trying to make a comment about that when my tablet crapped out on me for a second. Yeah, there was some creepy creature around there. I do recall that.
We have not yet discovered a way to solve that type of hostility. We've been doing very well with trying to smooth over relations between exiles and those who are born down here in some places, but there's only so much we can do.
sorry. I just realized you said that they feed on more than magic, and we were thinking about those of us that come down being used as magic, batteries for the leather winds that rule over the plateau. But we have had encounters where those that live below claimed that that the leather winds kidnap people. Within recent known memory, uh, Mist met her grandmother, who is born down here, and apparently she's not a tabaxi, but a different creature that has wings, and she has family that was born and raised down here. So that was our concern: is if the fog is meant to keep them away from down below, then how are they getting below's people up there?
A more interesting question to add to that: why do they not have memories of that? If someone came from down
Correct.
below, not for, someone would have known about it. Would have been somewhere. I don't have an answer for that except to say that they likely tamper with our memories, which is something that is fairly commonly available, I've found. They do use memory tampering as a currency down below in many places. One that I have
Oh yes.
struggled very hard to keep myself from indulging in.
I believe some of us have used that currency.
You have to do what you do to survive. I'm not judging.
Yeah. I certainly see that, because Mist had no awareness. Augie knew the woman, Mist's mother, and there was no indication that the mother knew that she was originally from below. Or they assumed they were all from Brother Bishop and then.
Well, it does raise some good points. I've heard whisperings of it. I've encountered people that have made that accusation. Mist, calm down. But I've not witnessed it for myself. And this is one of the many mysteries that still confound us to this day. Unfortunately, when those who control the information are the perpetrators of the crime, their enemies that want no mention of it, It's very hard to pierce through that. Unfortunately, we have to use her writing to pierce through mystery, and
Yep.
there's only so much I can do. But
Well, go for it, Quill.
but you're not the first to want these steps. You're not going to be the last. And every time we do, we learn a bit more. And we get just a bit farther.
But it seems we
I
are one of the first groups to start to look into dissipating this fog that seems to be said to hold back these leather winds, and yet these leather winds are still are still somehow finding their ways to get these people down here anyway.
There is one
yeah.
thing that I fear if the fog is lifted.
What?
What if the fog is what is stopping the leather windows from sapping magical energy?
Well, that's what we did assume because we didn't have magic before we came down here.
Right. But what I mean is, what if their range isn't the plateau, it's the planet?
You think they can sap the magic from an entire planet?
I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know.
I I I would say I had a concern myself, that they're weaker than they might be if we release the fog. If we release the fog in order to be able to fight them head on, that we'd be fighting them when they're in a stronger state than the state they're in now.
Yes. My concern, however, is. Oh, there's no easy way to say this. I want you to imagine those of us who are up above. We change when we come down here. We experience a truer version of ourselves, as if something was taken from us while we were up above. I am terrified to think of what it might do to someone who has not had that experience of before. Some of us have. We didn't think the way we did when we were up above. A lot of our identities truly only formed when we came down.
It'd
I
be a huge shock to the system.
Part of me is afraid it would be consigning a near thoughtless state, unable to speak. And I'm not
It's
sure that that's right to do.
Do you fear that what we're doing is exactly what they want us to do?
Part of me suspects it, yes.
But then if we don't do anything, we're just like everyone else. Nothing's changed.
And if we don't do anything, the gods die. Or they go insane and they
That too.
die. So that's not a tenable option in my book either.
Well, I will
I
point
feel like.
out.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say that I feel like we've acknowledged that we might be playing into exactly what they want, but also we know that already, and we just have to be prepared for it.
There is one thing that's different to that first time, though, that may be able to find.
Sorry, you cut out.
There might actually be something different. Take refuge in.
You cut out again.
There might be something different this time that we might take refuge in.
There we go. And what's that?
How long have they been up there with no assistance? They're supposed to be from an... and yet they're cut. But they're not above, they're not below the cutoff point, which means that they've been left on their own by whatever they came from. We wouldn't be fighting an entire other world like the first time.
That's what I think
Mm.
sometimes too. I always wonder who exactly is it pulling the strings up there. Is it the... Are they called queens? What are they called? Sorry.
Yeah, the queens.
Is it the queens or is it...
And the power controlling the queens.
Mhm.
Well, what I was going to say is that we have made quite a substantial progress in reversing this fog. We have done so at what, 4 labs? 5.
I'm dumb. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, hold on, hold on.
I'd have to go back to my notes.
4.
4? Okay. Yeah. There are 5 total. A, B, C, D, E.
Mhm.
So we have already reversed the fog, the layer of the fog for 4 labs, and we only have 1 left. The brain in the body, which is lab E. So if we decided, essentially, we've made our choice. We've come this far, and to go back and backtrack and try to put everything back, not only likely dangerous because some creatures that were there might want, a second pass at us, or in some cases, the people running said lab that are still intact would be very unhappy for us to come back. So I think at this point we are going, as much as we want to have the what ifs and theoretical debate, we're a bit set in the course. And I think at this point we just see what happens.
More or less.
Well, I can tell you one thing. If you're going to Fog E, that means you have to go
You go to where?
to the other continent.
Yes.
And if you're going there, you buy F and
We'll go by Effenworthy?
it pretty much stands to reason.
We're cutting
And
out
Like your
something
mic hates
fierce,
you,
my
right?
my good dude.
Your
Yeah.
microphone hates you so much.
we might as well go back to F and and I do keep a fairly well-stocked library there with copies of all sorts of different books found on my travels, including copies of some very critical books within the Fog Labs themselves. You wouldn't have to return to the Fog Labs to have access to their knowledge, at least what I've been able to uncover. Plus some other sources as well. It's a fairly well-stocked library, one of the best stocked that I've seen, actually.
It's just Zulimar
Zulimar's
would love
eyes.
that.
See Zulimar's eyes light up, and he's just like, books. He looks at Freya like, books.
Freya's also going to be interested as well, especially because if she thinks there's any sort of books about like the plant life in there too, like don't even get her started.
Right?
You more or less you got games on your phone. You're
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
There's a reason. It says there's a reason why they call me the librarian.
Well, it seems like after we hopefully free our dragons, that'll be one of our next goals, is to try to make sure we have a plan of knowledge for what we might face with our decision to undo the fog.
I'm very certain that you'll find some solution to that outside of Effenworthy, so having a place where you can safely research where you can't be touched by her is very important.
That would be nice.
Because if she sees you getting that successful, she's bound to do something.
We keep
She
getting
hasn't-
warnings from her, but I feel like we just blatantly ignore her.
I think the next time we should give her a particular stinger. Might as well.
I don't know if doing that to a god is very smart still, even if we have some in our own presence.
I mean,
Gods are quite powerful, and
we've essentially been doing that by repeatedly ignoring her every time she gets angry with us.
Also killed one before.
Yes.
yes, but that one was willing.
Still, we did it.
Well,
We
It's
also
nothing.
have technically her child on our side, sort of. Won't really
Yeah.
pick a side, but he
well,
keeps helping us.
We have the child and a rock.
You do have a rock.
Well, we have the rock.
And
Zulimar is referring to the rock as her child, essentially.
Oh, when you
We
said
thought
child,
that
I
he's
thought
not
you were
really-
talking about.
Oh no, we're
Yeah.
not talking about
Lycoris,
Lycoris. No, I was talking about
the wrong child.
Luvian. Yeah, I was talking
That's
about
right, that's
Luvian
right.
because technically he was her creation, and
Yes.
so technically
Gosh.
he's on her side, or on our side because he keeps helping us. Although he keeps saying he won't tell us if we're doing the right thing or not when we've asked. Like technically, we have the kid on our side.
Mm.
well, that goes a long way as to explain why we can have this conversation in the first place.
Yes.
I was wondering who was blessing you, because it wasn't me.
Vitani will reach into her pocket and hold up the stone where Quill can see it.
Do not put.
No,
I
but
have put.
Ah,
Yeah, he's the soul of Luvian is talking to us. Obviously, his body we've learned is the one that is in each lab, broken into pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And so we also are wondering what will happen if we have all the parts. Will Luvian regain a body or move on? We don't
That's
know.
been my guess.
And a 13.
Will that
For
pass on
Luvian
the
history check.
check?
it's just seeing
Without
if he knows the
context.
name.
yeah, without context, that's so fucking funny. Just
13
Zulimar,
is
middle
me.
sentence, just going, a 13!
broke the goddamn fourth wall.
That's what the stone's for. It helps.
Yes.
Mm-mm. Not actually me saying that you have a message, I was just going,
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
I thought so too.
God, that sounded so good though. Because I
Yeah, it did.
definitely was like, whose phone's vibrating?
that's the point!
It just sounds so amazing. Like, it just blows my mind every time.
Like the one thing I'm really good at, making imitating a fucking phone.
And we love to see it.
That said, I will at least do what I can to get you to Effenworthy. Should open its doors to you.
Appreciate that.
Agreed.
The doors would be open regardless if you or not, but it'd be much easier to get there. It'd be easier to get there if you had a guide.
Certainly.
We will gladly take that.
At least we don't have to use one of the many summoning cards we have found ourselves to have to try to find our way there.
Rough. Those are definitely not reliable for this sort of service.
Rough, buddy.
I'm just curious. Is Miss coming back? And
We'll
does
say
she
right
go out for
about
milk?
right about now, Mist will come back. Is Augie with Mist?
Yes, because she is not gonna leave. Miss came back with injuries. She is not gonna leave Mist alone.
We'll say
Yeah.
Jeff is with you too, just kind of toddling after. Hey. He's like awkwardly waving.
Hey, Jeff.
Oh, what it.
She's going, hello,
I miss that face.
Augie.
I had to leave Andrea down the bottom. And he looks at Quill.
Quill, this is Augie.
Quill?
I don't remember his entire name. It's very fancy.
I am gonna say, just for shits and giggles, Quill knows Jeff, but does not know this version of Jeff.
I know a Jeff. I have met many Jeffs in the line of Jeffs. It's Jeff the Fourth. Nice to meet you.
Well, now he's what? An angel? What did we say he is?
Azamar.
Asmar. Yeah. So
14th,
even if
by
you
the
knew
way.
Jeff the 14th, probably not in this shape.
Wait, are we on 4th or 14th?
14th.
14th, that's right.
I've gone through many a Jeffsy.
1 second.
Oh, I just realized earlier I meant to say. Ooh, I meant to say this. The
Okay, because I was like,
they that the noise in the background of Goo's audio is Andrea.
Yes! Is
Beep boop.
Andrea here with us?
No, Andrea cannot climb up the rope.
It's Andrea yelling little glitch noises from the bottom of the cliff because upset that can't
Beep
be
boop.
with her. Beep boop.
Beep boop.
Beep boop.
Augie.
Connie's gonna lean over the edge of the cliff, specifically to wave down to Andrea and yell hello to her.
Does that mean that Lycoris is down there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
Augie.
Zulimar's also gonna go. This is Quill, and points to the canary, and this is the goddess of knowledge. What was their name again?
Quill says their name is Phronesis.
Just gonna have to type that out of character.
No gender.
Apologies. They, the goddess of knowledge. God of
No gender,
knowledge.
only bird.
Phronesis.
only bird.
A Beb. This is Beb.
Bird of knowledge.
Lycoris, please.
They respond to literally any pronoun. In the language that we speak, those things don't exist.
Right. Canary of knowledge.
Right.
Is there a symbol? Is there any meaning to manifesting as a canary over any other bird?
Quill is about to go into a long-winded explanation when Augie just says, "All right, Mist did not explain things very well. She said you needed
I
my
used
rod.
twice.
I assumed for Vitani.
I mean, if you're offering.
Zulimar, no! No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
I thought so. Can an adult please
not what
clarify
we
the
said.
situation?
That's
I would
not
be
what we said
happy
for you
to.
for.
So, this plinth here,
Yeah.
our lovely companions.
Yeah.
Yes, the dragons have decided that this plinth of creation will provide us with an item they think that we need. So they have already triggered this creation of a item that we will find useful, and you had to gift this plinth a gift of knowledge and power. The dragons have given their knowledge, and now we need a source of power. And as you see, the little projection here with the lights shows your wand.
Oh, this thing.
Yes.
It's terribly useful.
And apparently, once it is used on this plinth, or in some fashion, maybe placed in the projection, I don't know. We have not figured that part out. It will give us something that it creates every 100 years.
Oh, well, shit. I gotta see that. Here you go.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
And we can't
Kind
get
of
to
seems
pet
like an
our friends
important
back
thing.
until it's completed.
You had me at 100
Yes.
years. Interesting shit. Let's go.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So,
He
where
takes his
is
folding
Quill gonna?
chair. He takes his folding chair, snaps it out, puts it down, and just kicks back. All right. Yeah.
Did he hand the wand to Zulimar?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
He's
Okay.
not gonna be the one to do it. He's gonna watch you. All right, show me. Let's see. Let's get her done.
He wants to go back
Zulimar's
to-
gonna go over it and try to hold the wand in the projection of the light.
So you walk over and you reach out with this wand and you try to angle it in the projection, and the wand sort of jumps out of your hand and snaps into place in this projection. And the lights that have been glowing underneath the dragons this entire time sort of brightens, and a wind sort of picks up and it gathers with it little bits of the three basins, or like the base that these dragons have been standing on, or laying on in this case. And it starts to swirl them around faster and faster around this wand. And it just keeps going and getting brighter until it forms this ball of pure, like, negative light. And then it's like a light switch. And it goes from being nothing to a sort of opal kaleidoscope kind of color. And that color goes from being a sphere to a elongated sort of tube that eventually twists out and gently lowers and lays down on the top of this plinth as a cooled wand made of opal and what looks like 3 different types of material for the handle. So one of them is water, one of them is petals, and another is fire. And that wakes up 4 dragons. Well, it wakes up Nobara and Astri. Yuji is just snoring.
That's just Yuji's state of being.
Yuji's
you
just
like
enjoying himself.
As Astri awakens, they're going to. They can move and stuff, right? Correct? Because
Yeah.
everything the way. Okay, so Astri is going to wake up, do a little cute little yawn,
Cat yawn.
and
Big stretch.
big stretch. They're gonna see all the people surrounding them, and they'll be like, in their mind, they're like, "What's everyone standing around for?" And then they're gonna just hop up onto they're gonna hop up onto the Frey's head and kind of like knead her hair,
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Biscuits. Dragon biscuits.
And then they're going to see the new member, Quill, and kind of tilt their head at them, at Quill, and jump off of Frey's head and fly over to Quill as well. Curious on this bird-like creature, this Kenku.
And Quill, in his socially debonair fashion, will tilt his head and just look back.
They're off. I got $5 on the dragon. So Nobara wakes up, does a similar stretch, starts to crawl toward you across these coals, pauses, looks back at Yuji, heavy sighs, goes back to Yuji, takes Yuji's tail in her mouth, and just starts dragging him toward you, Batani.
Atta girl, wake him up.
They do eventually wake up and climb up your arms and do the, neck cuddles and under the chin boops and just titters and telling you all about what was going on.
But Toddy's just gonna be like, "Oh yeah, and then what happened? I know, I know.
Does she even does she understand?
Does she?
No.
I don't know.
Absolutely
Right?
not.
Not at all.
Frey, because of her special bond with Astri in the way that she came upon, she's started to learn a little bit of Draconic, so she may understand some words here and there from the little
Are they
ones.
Draconic or are they speaking something else?
It's a cousin language to Draconic. It's kind of like when you go and you're like you hear somebody speaking Spanish. There's different dialects of Spanish.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So you can pick up a couple of things here and there. Mostly it's Nobara complaining about Yuji. And Yuji, like, talking about how cool he is.
Of course.
I was gonna ask the wand. Did Zulimar? Is Zulimar cool to be the one that grabbed the wand since he put it
If
up
you
there?
want.
Okay. He's gonna take it back or like take it once it did its transformation. Girl.
It's cool to the touch.
moment.
You'd think that the
What?
spots where the fire is would be hot, but it's not. It flows like fire. It smells like fire. It feels like fire in every way except for the heat and the burning.
Oh, neat.
It kind of reminds you of shoving Vitani.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Since it didn't originally belong to him, it doesn't. He doesn't find out what it is by touching it, does he? Like what it does now?
No.
Okay, so he's gonna just hand it back to Augie. He'd be like, "Oh, it looks pretty," and he'd admire it and look it over. Like he's gonna be fascinated by the flower, but then after a few minutes of examining it, he's gonna hand it back to Augie.
Do circus. Let me type things out really quick. Yep.
As Astri is having this staring contest with Quill, they cheat a little. They blow sparkly smoke in Quill's face through their nose, like just huff out, just a puff of sparkly smoke, like
What a little
stardust.
bitch. What a little bitch.
Oh. Oh, wow. Wait. Do you mean this bad boy?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
But in this case,
shit.
it's a wand.
Augie takes it. He looks at it a bit. And he pauses. He does his identify as he looks at it. It's like, this has changed. It's not the same as it was. And he looks to Jeff. And then he looks to the rest and he says, I should not have this.
Why? What is it?
Just gonna reach out and like rub your back.
He hands it to Zulimar. He says, so, I've been talking with Jeff. And Jeff is not up to the adventures that you're going to go into. It's not who he is. It's not what he is.
Absolutely, that's fine.
But
Wait, you said you're.
but he needs to be with Lycoris to find out what he's become. And I've been thinking about all the places that we've traveled to. Thinking about back up above and all that. And I came to the realization we don't have a home. We've decided to stay down here, but we don't have a home. At least,
That's
not until now. And I talked with Jeff. I've decided that I'm not going to be going with you to Fogland. We're going to go back to space. And I'm going to do research there to help you guys out. I'm not... But I am going to be spending time doing what I can from space to research into this, as well as have a place for you to come home to when you're done. We're going to build you a home. Not just for you,
but
for Ahsoka as well.
I was going to ask how we would all stay in Jeff's small apartment there. So that's a relief.
We haven't got to the building plans yet. But if
Not
one
that
of
I'm
us...
objecting to living there and that being a home base. That's
I'm objecting.
cozy.
We'll solve that problem when we get to it.
Of course.
But the fact is,
I did want to ask a question. So, you don't. You could still say that you want to go to back to space, since that's where Jeff you're from and you're familiar with. Quill did mention that Ethelworthy is safe from her, that she can't reach us there, and that there is a library there that has access, that he has transcribed or has copies of a significant number of books and documents from all of the labs, and then some, that we would be privy to access. I don't know if that would be something you'd consider that being the home base.
The problem with that, and this also came up, if we go to Effenworth, then who is welcoming the next group here? Who is regularly going to Sucrose Bay, regularly going to Cove? Who is doing the needful work of making our people not feel like they always have to be defending themselves on the brink of death all the time?
That's true.
Jeff's shop is one of the reasons why we can live in some of these towns. It's small, but it builds.
Mm.
We
And it
we
is
need
much closer to those other locations.
we need a presence on this continent, and Asuka needs a place that she can go to when she's done her journey.
This is true.
And we're not okay. I'm not leaving you in the lurch. I'll make sure that you have the means to come anytime you want. And I'm going to know you guys are okay. And he looks to Jeff and says, I'm always just going to be one red string away.
Boy.
Out of character. Oh my
Out of
god!
character, that was so gay.
Ah!
That's so gay.
Oh my god! I'm gonna fucking cry. Oh, hang on. I need a second. Whew. Oh, my heart is feeling so many things right now. Oh my god.
Okay,
Wow.
harmonica.
Wow.
I heard that emotional like while Zulimar was asking about, well, could you stay here? Can you get the effing worthy? And you're just like,
Ugh.
beautiful. This is beautiful.
Oh my god.
So, out of character, are we gonna say that like Miss got this heads up, and that might be why it took longer?
Yeah.
Okay,
Fair
cool.
enough.
Because I don't.
Augie had to have a conversation.
I was about to say because I feel like that conversation probably shouldn't basically one Mist isn't here, and I don't want to try to act out what Mist would do if this is the first time she's hearing about it,
You
and
should totally
also
record
it,
a scene of when Mist finds them.
I was about to
yes,
say, second in,
please.
please.
Because I feel like that is gonna I love that. But yeah, I was imagining, okay, I feel like they probably need to have that conversation by themselves, and I don't want to
Yes.
like pilot Mist in this very emotional moment. So I was just like, okay, I want to make certain I know out of character that like we don't need to do anything with Mist in this moment because she already knows. Okay.
Well, after that beautiful red string comment, Vitani is going to stand from where she was sitting on the rocks.
If you hug me, I swear to God, I will kill you.
I didn't think you're gonna get out of this without getting.
Yeah, I think
I have a crowbar. I can wedge myself.
Nope.
Well, then you better get it out. And Jeff, you're not allowed to stop me. Vitani is going to walk over to Augie and give him the biggest,
Let
tightest
her
hug.
do this, or I'll use command on you.
So, I have to
I
go to the
have lung
bathroom.
damage. Stop.
Do you guys want me to let you guys roleplay out some more? Or should we pause here?
I'm
fine with either.
I'm also fine with either.
Alright, I'll let you guys roleplay out some more. I feel like you need some more emotions. I'm gonna be right back. I will have my phone on me.
Okay, sounds good. As once, huh? Go ahead.
I was gonna say Zulimar will come up while Vitani's got, and he'll just throw like a over the shoulders hug, so from the other side, like around his back. Just kind
Out of character, I think this is a
quick-
situation that calls for a group hug.
Oh God, we got more. Oh,
I mean, Zuma, yeah. The Zuma would throw his arm around them and then be like, "All right, who else is wanting on this hug?"
Augie
Right,
hugs
well.
are exceptionally rare, so take advantage now.
Right, we'll come over.
Vitani's grappling him for us.
Hurry while I've got him.
Ray will come over and she'll lean in and she'll just kind of be like, "Thanks for being my first family member."
Augie is just gonna grumpily just tilt his head in Rhea's direction. And hopefully not your last.
Absolutely not.
Hang in there, kid.
Zulimar will say, thank you for always being a wonderful person to debate and discuss with, and helping me be the brains of the group,
Well,
of the family.
thank you for being someone I can bounce off of and keeping me on.
Always happy.
Frey might not have known Augie as long as the others, but she is still feeling the emotions that everyone else is like. She's an empath sometimes, and she's just feeling the emotions too. She's gonna come over and also join in on some of the hug, and then Astri is going to break her staring contest with Quill and is going to see the just the hugging pile, and she's gonna want to get right in the middle of it, and she's gonna squeeze herself in like right next, like between kind of Batani and Augie, and kind of like curl up between them two, like next to Augie as well.
Mist is not in on the hug unless forced.
Yep.
I think we're gonna. Should we grapple Mist into the hug? I think Mist
Yes.
should be grappled
Yes.
into the hug.
Oh,
Consider
oh,
Mist
no,
grappled
no.
into the hug.
No, she'll be insufferable.
She's getting in here. Mist is getting in here. Is Augie still sitting in the chair or is he standing?
Oh, he's still sitting in the chair. He's gonna.
Excellent. Honestly, this would have happened either way. I'm not sure why I asked, but Yuji and Nobara are gonna curl around his ankles.
Well, Oji's gonna reach up out of this pile like a hand reaching from the dirt of the undead and just curl a bit and just head pat Vitani gently. Just a head pat.
Just a head pat.
And Vitani is kind of tucking her face against his shoulder. Actually, you know what? No. I rescind that. Vitani is most likely hugging with both her arms around his neck and her chin on top of his head, unintentionally pushing his face into her chest. That's secondary.
Ah!
So toasty there, ain't it?
Non-consensual motorboat.
Do not put the Augie.
Yes, the Augie. Yes, put the Augie. And Vitani's gonna tilt her head and kind of rest her cheek on his head and mumble really quietly that, oh god, I'm gonna cry. No, wait. Fuck. I'm gonna miss you a lot.
I'm not gonna be away from you guys that long. You guys are gonna come back. You'll be just like I never left.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I just read chat.
Oh, I'm behind.
I'm trying to stay immersed in the moment, and Goo is distracting me. I know. You'll be home. We'll just see you when we get home, right?
Exactly. Someone's got to keep the place clean for you. And I'll cook a nice meal.
Will there be
I look
meat?
forward to it.
Of course there'll be meat. I'm not a fucking savage.
Well, then I'll see you when we get home, Augie.
That's right. And then... Oh, no. I'll have that be a surprise. I'll have that be a surprise.
Oh, that's mean.
You're gonna make her cry and give her delayed gratification? Damn.
Listen, she should be used to edging by now.
right. Vitani's going to slowly detach. Because I'm sure Augie and Mist's thresholds for being groped and leaned on is just about up.
Yeah, this is just. Quill's just sitting there, just going, "We do not show affection this way, and Brother Bishop, not how it works."
Well, you know what? Fuck Brother Bishop ways. This is our way.
Yeah.
Mouth it.
Quill's just like, yes, you get it.
Vitani is
Burn the
also
face
going to
down.
Listen, you and I are going to talk more about that. But Vitani is also going to make sure that Jeff gets a huge, huge hug, mindful of the wings.
Please don't burn him. It took a while to get him back from the dead.
Aww,
Jeff hugs back just as hard.
good.
Yeah, we hug Jeff too.
Yes, all the hugs. I'm holding him down.
I don't think he needs to be held down.
No.
That's right. It's your turn now. Run,
See,
Mist,
Jeff-
run!
Jeff takes a hug much better than you, Augie.
You guys have taken
Yeah.
care of him. I can take over until you come get him, Jeff says.
Okay.
You take good care of each other.
Mhm.
I swear to God, I will kill you both. Sort of. Luvian?
She'll do it too.
Is that... I'll have that existential crisis later.
Deciding what god you're going to swear to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's so many to choose from.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I promise on Lycoris, if anything happens to either of you, I will find you. Do not make me find you. Do not make me hunt you down, because I will.
I think Jeff is typing.
We see our DM. Our
Jeff
DM
is typing.
Yeah, Jeff
Yeah.
is typing. Jeff is going to wind a finger around the air while holding Vitani's hand and show her the strings that tie them together. You'll never have trouble finding us. We're always here, Jeff says.
Meanwhile, Canary and Toddler is chilling. Oh yeah, can we see
Yes!
each other?
Yeah.
Of course they can, they're
Probably,
gods.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Oh. That's... Jeff is beautiful! Oh my god.
I feel like when Vitani cries, like, because of her body heat, it, like, kind of turns into, like, it kind of evaporates sometimes, depending on how emotional she is. It's just steam.
That's the thing. Is it steam? Does she cry water? How does that work? How does that work for
Cries
Genasi?
Cry lava. I was gonna say,
Hot water.
cries lava or hot water.
Awesome.
Or gasoline.
Oh my god.
Because she has regular, I mean, in a Genasi sense, regular eyeballs, which I assume need to be coated with some sort of
Liquid.
eyeball liquid.
Yeah, so hot water, yeah. Her entire
Hot
body's
water.
hot, so it
Hot
doesn't really...
saline.
Hot water. I'm just...
Isopropylene, alcohol. I don't
She
know.
drinks
Okay,
water
sure.
too, I'm assuming, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
cool.
does.
I have a
She has
question
it-
here. So because Augie is handing the wand to Zulimar, does Zulimar get the knowledge then? Essentially, like, he's effectively, like, he's
It's the
actually
baton.
relinquishing it. Relinquishing it. Okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna be very intrigued by it. I mean, he'll tell anybody if they want to know what the wand does.
Oh, she's just like, I don't know which one of you could use. Someone should have.
Zulimar will absolutely use it. I was like, oh shit, this is so useful.
Well, what is
Uh,
it?
It is the Rod of Absorption. While holding this rod, you can use your reaction to absorb a spell that is targeting only you. The absorbed spell's effect is cancelled, and the spell's energy, not the spell itself, is stored in the rod. The energy has the same level as the spell when it was cast.
I bet it's
So, like,
stored
if
in
it
the
was
rod.
if it's a 3rd level spell, I'm assuming you get 3 pieces of energy, essentially.
Whoa.
The rod can absorb and store up to 50 levels of energy over the course of its existence. Once the rod absorbs 50 levels of energy, it can't absorb more. If you are targeted by a spell that the rod can't store, the rod has no effect. When you become attuned to it, you know how many levels the rod has absorbed over the course of its existence and how many levels of spell energy it currently has. If you're a spellcaster holding the rod, you can convert that energy into spell slots, cast spells you have prepared or know. You create spell slots only of a level equal to or lower than your own spell slots, up to a max of 5th level. You use the stored levels in place of your slots. So, but otherwise cast it as normal. For example, you can use 3 levels stored in the rod to cast a 3rd level spell slot. A newly found rod has 1d10 levels of spell energy stored already. A rod that can no longer absorb spell energy and has no energy remaining becomes non-magical. Wow. Quill rolled a 24 for an Arcana check. Beautiful.
I love that the rod, the wand keeps like it is also called rod because it is a wand, but we choose the synonym rod for it too.
Rod.
It makes very good out of
I love
context
that.
phrasing
What
for it.
Right.
I
what
mean,
does this
wand.
rod look like?
It's the opal rod that Goo'd described with the water petals and flames on it.
It transformed into the Augie's original wand transformed into this rod
Yeah, this rod.
from the plinth.
I'm a little confused. Okay, so once it absorbs 50 levels of energy, you just have to use the energy in order to
Yeah.
have more space?
No, once it absorbs 50 levels of energy, it's done. You can't absorb anymore. You can only use up the slots that it has.
Okay, so if it
Wait,
already
no, yeah,
25, then how do you know when so I have to keep track of how many it's absorbed even if I use those
yeah, because it's 50.
over the life of it? Basically, if it has 25 levels, and so I use 3 of those to cast a level 3 spell, and then I absorb another one. Am I adding 3 to 25 of how many it's absorbed, or am I subtracting 3 from the one I cast and then adding 3, and so I'm back up to 25, basically, is what I'm wondering.
Okay, gas. I didn't know we were haunted in here too.
Does that make sense?
Are the numbers flying around your face like you're trying to
Yeah,
figure out the math?
Yeah.
So what does it do? Quill asks.
So what does it do? It absorbs the energy of a spell, and then you can use that energy to create a spell slot.
Wait, so it absorbs energy.
Yes.
Hold on.
Holding.
Wait.
Sounds like he's got
There's No, there's a mention in it was a codex. It was in Fog Lab. No, it was. Oh, I remember now. It was found it in a small library, um, from a private collector in space. I made a copy of it. There is a copy of it in the library in Effenworthy, and it described a weapon that could be used against the leather windows that worked by absorbing spell power, the thing that they feed on. It
This could be it.
Well, consider this. Imagine I had a weapon wand and I pointed to you, and what it did was it absorbed your food energy. For example, you say you ate chicken and it absorbed chicken into it and all the different things that chicken becomes in your body, and it went and slurped it in. You'd starve to death in an instant.
Mm. Interesting.
It didn't say whether the weapon was effective or not, but it was something that they were trying. I can't really say more than that. I'd have to actually have the book in front of me, and I could show it to you. What it said, we get different eyes on it, but unfortunately, I don't remember all that because I didn't read it all. I don't remember everything about every book I read, despite what they say. Please don't listen to them.
Of course, of course.
So it would seem that we may have one of the concerns we had was a means to fight
Combat them.
or combat the sort of consequences we're going to be bringing with removing the fog.
Yes, this could be a rather useful option. I suppose
Yeah.
I will be attuning to it.
Does it actually require attunement? It
Yes.
requires attunement.
A lot of people in this group have things they need to attune to now.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, we should do a soon.
Yeah.
Man, we should go to bed.
We're not the only one.
But
Huh?
I don't think
Is that
Go
Goo?
for it.
You back?
Yeah.
Oh, hi,
Okay.
Goo.
Hello. Yeah, I snuck in and said I'm back while you guys were talking.
Ah, love that. What were you about to say, Frey?
No, you go first, Batani.
I was just gonna say that dinner and a good night's rest at Augie and Jeff's place.
We'd have to get back there. We'd have to get back there first. It's still a bit of a trip, but can stay the night at
Over at the train here.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we are still at the bottom of the thing.
Yeah, we're nowhere near space.
Oh shit. Never mind.
We're in
We're a train ride and a car ride with the capybaras. Like, that's a journey. I don't know. Zulimar's gonna turn to Quill and go, "Is Effenworthy closer, or are we just as far?"
Oh, it's across the continent. We'll probably have to pick up some sort of ferry. Usually Sucrose Bay might be the easiest place.
Yeah. See,
Mist.
Mist
Yeah.
is just
Okay.
complaining because
Mist
of the hug.
is just having an opinion. Let me go with the hug.
I don't want to go to a place with water again.
So Sucrose Bay would be closer.
Well,
Space would be closer.
So, where you currently
Mist,
are,
that hurt! Oh!
Ripperoonie,
Might
where
be
you guys
closer.
currently are, you're in Fog Lab D. Somewhere around there, underground. Effenworthy is to the left, and then above that, at the very top of Syndicate, is Fog Lab E.
Excuse me. I'll have you know that's pronounced Fog Lab D.
Listen, that's because
Are we
nobody really knows
back?
where it is because it's underground.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry. Go over all of that again?
So we're
I'm
on the
so
map.
confused.
We have a map. The map
Yes,
in down below.
I'm on the map.
Yeah.
We're in the bottom right corner. Fog
Uh-huh.
lab D ? And Sucrose Bay is obviously to the north of us, and then Effenworthy, our destination, is to due west across the continent.
My
So-
concern is that space doesn't have a port. It being in a mountain.
There's no port up to the side there? Past, like next to the mountain?
There's not a lot of aquatic deliveries made between the fog labs.
Spaces,
Hmm.
I couldn't exactly like draw it this way, but while you see that outside area, it's actually just like the shift clear face of the mountain that goes straight into water.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sucrose Bay has a
very-
port. Poison Water has a port.
Poison water? I was gonna ask, does poison water?
Yeah, Poison Water has a port.
It's a silly
Ooh.
place.
Glorywood has a port, but you don't want to go to their port.
Why? What's wrong with their
What?
port?
So they put the port in Glorywood, they put the port in a hole, and they call
Uh-huh.
it the Glory Hole, and we do not
Uh-huh.
want to go.
I mean, speak for yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
You don't want to go
Um,
through the Glory Hole.
So you'd be coming out of the depths unless you found some other way to come out of Wolfswood, but then you'd still be walking across the desert. So you'd probably have to come back up out of the depths, and you've got options to go to either Poison Water or back to space and then back to Sucrose Bay. Could go to Glorywood, you know.
You
Well-
could go to Glorywood. But is there glory to be found in Glorywood, or is it just wood that's like talking itself up too much?
Uh-huh.
Jeff
well, we
would know because Jeff has traveled everywhere because he's Jeff.
Yeah.
From Poison Water,
Uh,
you can get a boat directly to a very small outpost that will take you up the river into Spider Water. And Spider Water has a direct river that flows into the port in Effenworthy. Glorywood goes through, and it goes through an area, that little wooded area between,
Yeah.
which a lot of people don't really travel through because it's full of like monsters and shit. But it would give you to the other side of the port. But they tend to go straight to Syndicate Heights and then Effenworthy instead of Effenworthy and then Syndicate Heights.
Yeah, we
So
probably
with
all
Poison
better-
Water, they'll go to Spider Water and then Effenworthy. And then they go up to, you know, In Waiting, Boondocks, stop at Lock Lake, talk with the monster that lives there, go to Dodge, come back.
Get out
Wait,
of Dodge.
Wait, hold on.
Get
I
out
need
of
to ask a
Dodge.
question. They go talk to that monster. Is he friendly? Is he nice? Does he have interesting things to say?
He seems like he has
You'll
interesting
have to
things
fuck around and
say.
find out.
I'll fuck around and find out.
Oh my god.
Is a monster in a lake, what can I say?
Yeah, it could
Fantastic.
mean anything.
I mean,
mean
there's also a
anything.
monster in Sucrose Bay, and y'all didn't like that
I was
one.
about to say. I was
Well,
about to say,
that
what's
one
monster?
kept eating people's memories and fucking around with people. He was not a good monster.
No.
I mean, the monster in Lock Lake is bigger than that one, so I'll let you
Yeah,
figure
but-
that out.
But that's just size doesn't matter. It's friendliness that matters.
It's how you use
What if
it.
Giggle was friendly?
Bigger
Yeah,
memories.
yeah. The one in space was kind of nice actually, and was not
That wasn't
friend
Giggles.
shaped.
That was Stacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop.
he
Moss was
he
friendly.
unfriendly.
You guys just
Yeah.
did not like Moss.
Who was Moss again? Which one was
The
Moss?
flesh tunnel?
No, that wasn't Moss.
Oh, that's right. That's
Who was
right.
the flesh tunnel because I did not enjoy that.
The flesh tunnel wasn't even one of the guardians or whatever. The
No,
flesh
it
tunnel
wasn't.
was a experiment, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an experiment.
That's right. Well, either
Moss.
way.
Wait, did we meet Moss?
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
Freya
Moss is-
kept getting sucked into moss.
Oh, that's right. It was the other room. That was Moss.
It was the mossy room.
yeah, that was
That's
the Mossy
right.
room.
Yeah, that's a part
Okay.
of moss. A
Yeah.
part of moss.
Yeah, because we noticed that there was an area that was like breathing or something. Like, the whole thing was breathing.
The whole
Yeah.
I think the whole room was breathing.
Yeah, the whole room was breathing.
Yeah, by technicality, all of this is moss.
Oh, okay.
Are we just
Gotcha.
in Moss's stomach and we're getting digested by lava? Stomach acid.
Yum.
You don't know.
I think Moss
so-
needs to go get checked out. There's a
Isn't
fucking
there-
lava salamander inside.
No, right? Isn't there like a place that we can rest here in the depths? Like we
Yes.
stayed at this house on the way
Yeah,
down
there's
here.
there's the drop-off inn, and then there's like an actual inn in the center of the town.
Yeah, we could.
Also,
We
it
could
wasn't a
stay there,
lava
and then-
salamander; it was a tapeworm.
Ah!
Oh, that
Ooh.
made it so much better.
I think Moss still needs to go to the doctor's. There's a tapeworm.
That's objectively worse. You can
Well-
reason with salamanders, but a tapeworm just wants to steal your food. It's like a
Exactly.
rite
Yeah,
of
that's fair.
absorption
Just
for your
to lose
tummy.
a
It's
couple
not-
pounds.
and then- And then break off into pieces.
Oh, oh.
Okay.
Um.
All right.
So yeah, Zulimar would say, well, why don't we just find a place here to rest, attune, and then we'll go on to Poison Water, and Jeff and Augie, you head back to start creating a home.
All right.
All right.
And that does it.
So,
I
as
think
you all
Rhea
gather,
agrees.
bark, bark, enjoy. As you all agree to this, you all get up and begin to walk back. I think that's a good spot to end it for tonight. What about you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so we'll pick up next week and see what we get up to in Below the Fog. Ooh.
Ooh.
It's
More
less
group
spooky
You
when
guys-
you do the ooze.
More group hugs.
More group hugs. All right, I'm
No,
gonna stop the
no.
recording in 3,
Never.
2, 1.